March 2nd, and I read 2 books yesterday. I will say that this part of my mouth is really irritated right now for whatever reason. I thought there was something on it when I started, and I was picking at it, and now it just looks red and crazy. Um, but it's not showing up too much on the camera, so it's really itchy. So if I itch, that's why. But I haven't used foundation in a while, so maybe that's it. I don't know. It's just having a day. So, anywho, I did 2 books. So, Pumpkin Heads by Rainbow Rowell, and that is about Deja and Josiah, who she calls Josie, which is so weird for me to read right now. But I had the absolute best time with this book. So it is very much like Hubie's Halloween to me with Adam Sandler. And it was just the vibes of that, and it was just so good. And so Deja and Josiah, or Josie, are friends seasonally. So they work at a pumpkin patch together, and they say goodbye at, like, you know, in October and see each other in September, and or see each other in October and say bye in September. That makes more sense. And so they work at this pumpkin patch. They're seniors. This year they're, like, I am going to be sad that we're going and that we're going to college. And through this story, I just felt like I was working with them. And it felt like so much like Hubie's movie, and just the place and the corn maze. And there's a part of this book where it is the corn maze, and all that is just so cool. So I just felt like the vibes of that movie totally in this. But they're sad that they are going to be moving on to college and can't really work with anybody anymore. Like, they'll come back, but it's not going to be the same because everybody is going to a different part of, part of the world for college. And, well, we'll come back, but, so Josiah is on a mission to get the girl he likes, and Deja has no problem helping her friend out. It's their last year. She will help him. And so it takes a while for them to start to catch up with the girl that he likes. And so when he does, she is interesting. And I just loved the ending of this. And it was just so cute. I just want more of Deja and Josiah. I loved the friendship. I loved the romance. I loved everything about it. I could smell the pumpkin spice. And it was just so good. Terrific. 5 stars. I loved it. And I have been reading a lot of Rainbow Rowell books, and I just love them. I gave my other Rainbow Rowell book I read 5 stars too. I just love it. It was just great. And for a YA, at times it feels like YA, and other times, in the best way, and other times it doesn't feel like YA at all. It just feels like they're just so well put together characters, and they have, like, it's just fun. It's just like, it's just a lot of fun. So that's 5 stars. And I also read Sweet Valley, Francine Pascal's Sweet Valley Twins, that was called Best Friends. It was volume 1. And so, oh my goodness. This is about Jessica and Elizabeth, who are twins. And these twins do everything together. They dress the same, they go to the same things, they pretend they're interested in the same things, and that is really terribly itchy. Okay. Yeah, and they're in the same things, and they're not really like living as separate people. They're twins, they're sisters, and they're learning in middle school that it's okay to have different interests and have different, different interests and different everything and different personalities, and that's all right. They feel like they're losing each other because of their differences, but they're really not. They're always really there for each other. And, ouch, they're always really there for each other, and they're always have such a heartfelt moment between the sisters in these books or their mother, and their brother is hilarious, Stephen, and it's just all fun around. So they're really trying to learn what it means to dress different, be different, but be the same, and share the same face and family. And I loved the color palette of the graphic novel. There was green, pink, blue, like just real pastel type of ones. It ended kind of like on a little cliffhanger. I'm like, oh, is that it? That's all you're gonna end there? So I really love to pick up the second one. And so I forgot to mention that in Pumpkinheads, it is 200 pages, and no, it was 209 pages, and it was for the prompt of 200 plus pages. And Sweet Valley is the prompt for two people on the cover. And so this one had 200 pages as well. So they both really have, both prompts fit both of these books. And I just had a great time with both of them. I've had a tickle today. Ugh. And so I gave Sweet Valley 4 stars, and it was just great. I just really liked it. It gave me nostalgia and reading those books in high school. I loved the talk about Unicorn Club, which is a popular girl group who talk about boys and their classmates and gossip, and it was great. So I gave that 4 stars. I only gave it 4 stars because of, I knew going in it was for this age group, which is fine. And I don't mind that it was written for that age group, but I am an adult reading this, and some of it's just like, I don't even know the word for it. It's just like, I know what I was getting into, but it's not like I'm going to want to get all of these and read them. I just liked this for that particular readathon. I'll probably get volume 2 next year, kind of thing. It wasn't like I have to I'm obsessed. But overall, it was just such a great read. And it gave me all the vibes for nostalgia. So that was pretty much it. I will put the clips in of the books and of the covers. And that's pretty much it for today. So I will see you soon. Okay, so it's about 11 o'clock at night. I'm in my pajamas. But, I think I'm going to finish the graphic novel I was reading tomorrow. It's very heavy subject material, and I have been reading on sprints for quite a while. I joined Hext Library Jess sprints tonight, and I also did some sprints with Mel Lenore Reads. So it's gonna be, I finished 2 more novels, or 2 more graphic novels for the readathon. So, I think it's been a success this weekend. So I did this book, Cece's Journal, for a author or illustrator new to you, and these both were like this. And a Keisha from A Book Like You, she has just talked about this book and talked about it. And last year I wanted to get it, but then I'm like, I'm not going to probably get that right now. I had read most of the Lore Olympus in those 24 hours. So, I had to read them all. I read most of that stuff. But anyway, so I'm so glad I read this. So this follows Cece, who she keeps a journal for her notes, scrapbooks, pieces, and doodles about the mysteries that she encounters every day. Her favorite subject? People, especially grown-ups. Everyone has their own special secret, Cece figures, and the only way to understand someone is to find out what the secret is. But when Cece's obsession with a new mystery leads to her lying to her mother and abusing her friendships, the only way for her to set things right is to turn her writer's eye inward and learn to understand Cece a little bit better. And so, yeah, Cece is 10 years old, and this book is so beautiful. It's just, oh. So there's 2 stories in here. They were both so good. Okay, so like this doesn't feel like you're following a 10-year-old. It feels like you're just following it's kind of like Home Alone and Home Alone 2. Like when he talks to the boy, the man with the shovel, about forgiving like his son and letting him see his granddaughter and just talk to him. And it's like Kevin with the pigeon lady and how heartfelt those moments are in those movies. It's very much like this. So Cece comes across a man, and she watches him for quite a while, and what she finds, I was kind of blown away, and it was just, I loved that story so much. And like I said, the drawings are beautiful. It also reminds me very much of Owl Diaries. I forget that author's name. If I remember, I will put that in the video. But I've read that with my niece. So it's very like you get a journal part of it, and then you get like the story part of it. And I felt like the relationships were real. The everything was just so really sweet and put together, and it's something about a relationship with children and grown adults that are just so heartfelt and so special. And yes, this really reminded me of Kevin talking, like I said, to the pigeon lady and the man with the shovel in the Home Alone series movies. And I just really loved this. If there's more, I would really love to read more by him. So this is by Joris Shamlane. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. And I don't know the illustrator's name, but that person is from France. And that's, oh goodness, on my review template I have, it says favorite moment. I think my favorite moment, I don't want to spoil a whole lot. So my favorite moment in the first little story is when the mother remembers something. And it was just like, oh my goodness. Like, is this going to make me cry? It might. And it was just so special to see her mother react in the way she did. And in the last story, because there's 2, in the last story, it was just really special to see, like, how she helped this woman. And I loved the ending of it. And it talks about World War II and the letters. And and it was just so done in a really put together way. And I feel like everything was resolved, and mostly everything was resolved. There's one thing that was not resolved, and you kind of get like a little like sneak peek into that relationship between a few people. And so this is just so freaking cute. I'm like, how do you not give it 5 stars? So I'm giving it 5 stars. Keisha, you're welcome. But this was just so stinking cute. And then I read the prompt of I think I did all the prompts, so go me. But this prompt was to read next in the series, I believe. So, volume 5. And this is Lore Olympus volume 5. And this is about Persephone and Hades and their relationship. I am on the 5th one, so I'm not going to talk a whole lot about that. This, I don't even know the words for this book. I was reading the back of Praise for the Series. I just think this is I liked what this lady said. So, Lore Olympus is a delicacy, funny, dark, sexy, and lavishly illustrated. It's a delight on every page. I can't recommend it enough, and I totally agree. So that is by Kate Leaf, from a author of Marvel's Patsy Walker, aka Hellcat. And also I agree with this person. Moody, beautiful, and funny. Be transported to a gorgeous reimagining of Greek gods in a modern fantasy setting. You will not be able to put this book down once you start. It's very true. So that is by Babs Tarr, a comic artist. And so I agree with them. The things I love about this book so much is it's a chunky book, and you think, oh my gosh, I'm not going to get through this book. It took me quite a few sprints to get through with this book. And I don't know how many pages it is. It's not numbered or anything. But each character is a different color. So obviously Hades is blue, Persephone is pink. One character is purple, one character is gold, one character is all sorts of colors. And it asked me, like, on my review template, like, what is my favorite chapter and different things like that. And my favorite chapter is I wrote it down. It is called, oh, there it is. So it was I think it's this one. It was episode, well, this is a webtoon originally, and then Rachel Smythe is the author. And my favorite one is VHS. It just seemed really cool. Like she does different things. And something happens in here when Persephone and Hades kiss. And it was just, I loved that. I just thought that was a cute idea of how Persephone's emotions were. Like, it was just a nice thing. I really liked that about it. I really love the color palette. It goes fast. Like, you can read some of these in a whole week, and the whole series in a week. It's just, it's just great. So, also 5 stars. I just love it. and I am hoping to continue in this series in May. And I've been also reading, which I'm not going to count, but I also been reading The Outside Circle by Patty. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but this is about Pete, a young man who is very wrapped up in gang violence, and he lives with his younger brother Joey, and his mother is a heroin addict, and he ends up killing his mother's boyfriend, or yes, mother's boyfriend, and Dennis, and so he goes to jail, and Joey gets taken away from their mother, and has to be in custody because of her addiction. And so he does that, but while in jail, he gets the opportunity to go to a different type of healing center, and so he goes, and it's based on Canada, and so it's a very Native American based, and it's just very heavy material. It's very interesting material, but it's just like I'm in tears at some points of this, and it's getting really big reactions out of me that I didn't think I was going to have. Yeah, it's just been, there's some real pictures in here about some of these things in Canada, and it's I think it was Edmonton, I believe, and it was a real thing, and so that aspect of this book is making me cry, and it's making me feel things and think about things, and it's really very heartbreaking and very sad, and it is I thought I had something on my teeth, and it is very I don't even know the word, like, it's just so, I guess it's kind of healing and therapeutic in a lot of ways, and you if I can find it, because I am into this pretty far. I'm going to get my marker. So at one point, one of the exercises for them to do is to, while Pete is in this program, is to write down all their ancestors, like from the first, second, and third generation, and then you're supposed to tell a little bit about each person that you know, and then so this is the person in charge family tree, and you see the lines, and you see the purple, and you see blue, and you see pencil marks, and all those types of things, right? So purple name is all the people that had addictions in her family. Green dash is everybody that has some sexual abuse in the relationship. That's quite a few people. Pencil is physical sexual abuse, and that was also quite a bit of people. And the orange squiggle was domestic violence relationships. And it's just like, wow, you don't realize how things get passed down to you, and what people do, and what people in your family, what their choices are, makes a huge difference. What you choose to do makes a huge difference. the language in here bothered me a little bit, but you know what? It's about a gang. It's not like, oh, please put that away. It's do it or I'll kill you, you know. And so I really looked past that. And this book might be 6 stars. I just really want to reread it and tab, and I wish it was my book. Because some of these exercises are just something I want to do and want to try. And it's just, this book is, yeah, got way more reactions out of me emotionally and just to better my life than I was ever expecting it to have. I just thought this was going to be kind of a quick, I actually didn't think it was going to go in this way, like, at all. I don't know. It just, and I just thought this was going to be more like, I don't know, hokey, I guess. And, real like, oh, we did a few seances and we talked to, you know, I don't know. I just thought it was not going to be so heavy with matters of the heart and matters of family and how you feel as a person. And yeah, I've just really enjoyed this. If there's a second one, I will read it. It is very, very good. So if if you're looking for something that is history of Canada or Native Americans or any of those things, this is very interesting and very good. And like I said, it has real pictures of people in this area in Canada, and it just makes me want to be sick to my stomach some of the way they treated children and treated just people in general. Like, I just can't even imagine. So I'm getting a history lesson, but I'm getting a healing lesson, and I'm learning about Pete's story, and I want to know what happens to Pete, but after all those hours on sprints, I'm like, I'm done tonight. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. But I'm gonna get going to bed. So, whew. Okay, it is Sunday today, and I'm drying up my tears. This book has been just wonderful, really, and the ending just, yeah, it brought me to tears. A lot of this has. Goodness. This has been a really hard, difficult book to read, but I think it will stick with me for a really long time. And The Outside Circle was just so good, and I'm giving it 6 stars. The story of Pete is just so great, and it's very healing. It's very visual, obviously, because it's a graphic novel, but it's very visual. You know what he's feeling, and the last few exercises have been really, really good, and then the little twist at the end, it's like, oh, I didn't see that coming. But it was so cute, and if I talk about a lot of it, I'm gonna cry again. So I'm not gonna cry anymore. But this is so good, and it made me feel so many different emotions. And if there's more by this author, I would totally pick it up, because it's just so I was trying to find the picture of the real kids in this school that they talk about in Canada. And then there's some other parts, like different things that I have. I don't know. I don't see the picture now. But it was just such a good book. It really was. So 6 stars. I'm giving those out. And oh my goodness, this book has such a place in my heart for this, and it's really had me. I've just had so many different. I don't know. I've just had so many different thoughts and memories of family and myself and what I've done to people and what I'm doing to people and my family and just different things, because all of that matters. Your choices are not only yours, they affect everyone else, and that's what's so crazy about this. And it comes down to you and how you want to live your life, but it also comes down to how you treat all these people in your life, and it kind of, if it's bad, it backlashes into those people's lives. And I wasn't going to share a whole lot with this, and I'm still not going to share it if a lot, but there is something that happens, and like, what if he said no to that program? What if, I mean, there's just so many things that could have worked out differently. He could have been through this program, but he could have also beat up the people that were beating him up. Even after all this time in this program. I mean, you just didn't know what his story was going to be, and the ending just kind of was like, oh, it was a wonderful surprise. So I am maybe keeping this right now and just going through it and writing down some things, because there's some really good things in here, and yeah, I don't know. There's no pages, so I don't know. It was published in 2015. And then all these Native American tribes get acknowledged. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that gets credited for this, and Native Counseling and Services of Alberta, and just all sorts of stuff. So it's just, yeah, this is just great. So my stuff's over for that, but I'm gonna turn those books in today, and I'm gonna have to write my review up for them. So I'm finished this one today, and on to the next one.